The flash drive decided to block it, so nothing was recorded. I show it as it is. The car stood for a long time, started up. A little more than 1,000 revolutions. 1,200 somewhere she smoked and smokes now. The factory stank of oil. Everything is clear here, everything is according to tradition, as they say. Then we will go to solve some questions, and tell you about the current problems with this car, which also came out suddenly, which will also need to be solved. So we warm up and go. I will tell you, show you what is as it is. The handbrake does not burn, this is good, this is already better. And so, now I'm going to tell you what awaits us today from the innovation. I was on a typewriter when I changed the wheels, and I was sentenced. More precisely, I already knew that the steering tips were kahana to them. Something is knocking at the top of the left wheel. This is most likely a support bearing. Yes, now I'll try to look there, but it's unlikely that it will work out. Accordingly, we will change the pair. The cup seems to be whole, even if it is not scattered in different directions. So that's it. The steering tips both sentenced me, which I knew about. They also sentenced one of the silent blocks of the right lever. We will change all four, but it will be later. What else was sentenced? The bearing is most likely finished here, because it buzzes tin. Naturally, it will be necessary to change the guides on the calipers and smear them. The pads are botched there, and they are pretty lively. Something else has not been sentenced, I forgot. I'll take a look later. But that's all. It's like 2 pieces of supports, all 4 silent blocks of levers, 2 guides, 2 steering tips. That's what it comes out to. And another unpleasant thing has disappeared. Where is he? The thing. Where is he? It's noisy and you can't see shit. The St. Petersburg sky is clear. So, the oil seal of the heat exchanger began to flow very intensively. Everyone calls it differently. Therefore, we will also change it, including. Well, at the same time, we will change the gasket of the heat oil exchanger housing. It doesn't really look like much at all. And it's pouring, well, I can tell you, not bad, if you look closely. But it's unlikely that you can see anything there. It pours most likely from that corner and just down the filter. So we will change this in the near future. The parts have already been ordered. The tips have already arrived. Let's go to a friend's service. It turns out I have a friend who keeps the service, so it's not in price, but in quality most likely. Benefit. Let the price be any, I don't care at all. The fact that we are changing the whole thing so that the oil does not pour. Because there is already a loss of the engine, the oil is good, and there is also an extra leak. Who needs it? What are we going to do today? We're going to do the electrics today. More precisely, we will look for what lies there. What lay down on the mass? Most likely it's lying down. Do you know where? It's lying down right here. Somewhere right here. Because we have a rotten threshold, and there are a lot of interesting things that can rot. I know that from BMW, because cars with a hatch are like that. And every time we... No, I haven't reset now. The EQ-1 is reset periodically. It may even show the desired temperature. So, I have already started up several times today. I was jammed, but on working issues, let's say, not just for fun. And the boo was reset to 0, and the oil sensor. The oil sensor does not show, although it should now show a temperature somewhere there of 80-90 degrees. The oil temperature is with us. Accordingly, the turnovers. The revolutions won't be stable until I find where the wire lies on the mass. Or maybe something has rotted into one pile. I do not know, we will deal with it. Today I took a multimeter with me, so it will be doubly fun. We'll need to clean up. But initially we will climb into this corner. Because the central locking control unit is still not connected, and we have it all lying there so beautifully. All wires are not insulated, next to the metal or already on the metal. So let's start from this angle. Just here we will rake. I took a garbage bag. Let's clean up everything here like this, throw out the excess. Since this problem had to be dealt with a long time ago. Then we'll go look for where we still have the SBU buggy, with the help of a multimeter and a circuit. The scheme is black and white, Vile. I haven't found another one yet, but it's purely quick. I got something there somewhere. Here. And then we will have a repainting of the DMRV. Idling valves, parapinovka. At the same time, we will remove it, rinse it again, and change this branch pipe. It's probably exactly the same size as this one. Therefore, we will cut it off and change it. He's got something really bad here. We also have a parapinovka. It is necessary to blow up the coolant level sensor. The temperature of the coolant, because it is twisted here. It's still twisted here somewhere. And accordingly, here they will twist. That is, twist on twist, everything is as we like. Therefore, we will have to somehow farm the wires from what we have. I remind you, I do not have wiring in color. And I would like to know, of course, where this wire comes from. But most likely he's from somewhere around here. No, there are wires there. I don't know, in general, I don't know. It is also necessary. Of course, I would like to understand if the absorber works, but I think not. I think he's already grown shit for all these years, from the moment he was broken. There is also a filter here, the valve is more precise. It is unknown what is wrong with him. So the main tasks that I will be able to do with my hands today, at least part of them. Sort it out. Unpack the trunk. Another question about the aerodynamics of the Passat B3. It was clean. Well, of course, then there are no floors anymore, it was clean. I literally drove along the highway, that's how it was raining. And he's all fucked up. Well, it's clear that there is a brick factor in the forum, but nevertheless it's unpleasant, not very pleasant. In short, we remove all this. We remove all of this. At least half of it is removed and reinserted. I kind of have pins, I didn't post them. We have to run in a wheelbarrow. Let's take a look. I remind you, me. Well, it's a mess here too. I was lucky. Yes, they are here. Get pins on the cheap. Not the original, of course, so these are Zhigov pins. Not the original, of course, but better than. A cheap non-original is better than an expensive original or, by the way, about the expensive original. I ordered the cheapest temperature sensor, because it turns out that the temperature sensor in the coolant motor is this one. It's 4 engines from the 97th year. I don't know how these sensors differ from the motors of another year, but this sensor, this motor of the 97th year. I ordered the cheapest, just at the very bottom of the market, temperature sensor for this motor. And it cost 216 rubles with delivery. Just for fun, just for fun. But I looked at how much the original one costs. From Germany with all the cases. 6,700 rubles task. 6,700 rubles and 216. There are no words, it doesn't matter. We change clothes and climb here. I'll explain now. I'll explain everything, show you everything. Problem found. Oops. We have the dimensions of the reverse gear. Most likely there are TFs, but there is no jumper. The backlight, everything is fine. It gave 0.27 volts. And it's probably all lying right here. Meaning lies. That's the problem. Everything is exactly there. Now, just a second. Is the door open there? No, of course not. So it's necessary there. And where? I left the light on at home, right? Wonderful. And here's the phone. That's good. That's good. So I won't have to climb under this one. Oh, really? Damn, everything is bad there. In general, everything. Here's a sealant dripping from somewhere from there, which is from the joint. It's unclear how to get there. I've already pasted something there. In short, the situation of packaging. This will need to be dealt with, so that there would be no such thing. Here is such a tin. And the wiring is rotten somewhere here. And of course, our control unit. Damn, 3 pins at least, 4 even. Our central locking control unit has also rotted because of all this. That's how you repair arches, floors in general, and so on. But it doesn't make sense here. Wow, the bolt is free. Oh, I see, he's from here. It will need to be screwed. I would already be happy with a free bolt. By the way, that part of the back is jammed. It's all reclining, but this part is jammed. It will be necessary to solve something with this, too. Although I don't really need it. So, it turns out that we have everything. Perhaps even skin needs to buy a jumper for disassembly. Therefore, we remove part of the skin. I don't understand this thing here, how it is removed. Oh, it's screwed on. Well, that's it, we're shooting. Let's try to clean up all this garbage from here. Dirty? Because it goes out, gets wet and so on. And we are trying to seal the wheel arch. Damn, well, she's covered in shit. Packaging certainly helps, because when was the last time I climbed here for the central locking control unit? Everything was in shit here. That's it. That's where the dirt starts firm. That's where it was firm. Well, the paint cylinder was not bought in vain. Somewhere there probably. At the same time, we will touch up all this. I understand that this is not a panacea, but damn, there's not much to do. To do especially. Everything is dirty. In general, everything. Tin. So guys, watch your arches. I don't know what's wrong with this arch yet, but judging by the fact that we have a problem here, and so obvious. But this is a disease of the trade winds, damn it. Third. Is it possible to see something somehow? In short, it's also dirty. Well, here's the tank. Something needs to be solved here. Probably have to glue the wheel off. I'm going to the service. I'll ask you to throw me a wheel on the lift. While they're messing around, I'll seal it all up somehow. I don't know how. In short, the problem turned out to be here. And this is a plus, because it doesn't need to climb anywhere else. From the word at all. On the contrary, come on. What? The fuse goes off with my manipulations. I hope not. Well, the diode has already arrived here. This one will need to be changed. That's it. Baldes. For some reason, it only burns 4-2. Ah, I'll figure it out now. I'll put others on. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Climb up here. It was just raining. What you need to stand with. Stand bent over. I'm unscrewing everything here. Clean it out. Then only to clean. Well, we'll clean up the shit later. Damn it. I am as happy as possible, because, first of all, the door opens and closes well. This is a plus. And secondly, there is no need to get into the wiring. We need to rewire everything, clean everything up, put everything in order. And that's it. Here's the good news. Uprooting Vagov pins is not fun at all. These two are so soured in plastic there that I barely pulled it out in a vandal way. I don't care. The main thing is that I pulled it out. Now we look at the previous repair of this connector. There's a twist here. Here is this wire. Here is to give the Darwin Prize to the one who did it. It is twisted in 2 places, and maybe even more, because it seems to me that this thing here is not factory made. And of course now we will clean everything here. I'll stumble and will hang up. It will be necessary to resolve the issue with this wire unambiguously. So in general, everything is okay. For wires to plug, I have a diagram somewhere like this. 1, 2, 3. 3. And the blue one is hanging out somewhere. Wherever he's hanging out. Here he is, hiding from me. 4 wires are plugged, put in order, tinted. Let's try to solve the problem with packaging, but I see that Tamarka went to rot right in the corner. It's unclear how to seal it. In short, let's try to solve something here after all. I would like to raise the wiring up, of course, somewhere here. But so far, I do not know how to implement it. What is this? Well, what is it? It goes down. Let it stay there. And this is Luke. This is exactly the same hatch. If the wheelbarrow survives until spring, we will clean the hatches, do it all shorter. The whole thing now is just this main part. And of course, there is plenty of chernozem here. We're getting out. Who's knocking all the time? The sun? Estimate how much earth you took out of the wing. And that's not all. Some kind of plastic overlay, which is no longer even plastic, but not even plasticine, not even some kind of liquid wax. That's how it all lived in the wing. But that's not all, there's still a whole bunch of garbage. It's going to dry up now, we're going to uproot it all from here. Then I will throw everything that is not earth into a bag and throw it in the trash. Pulled the wiring, because you need to do it humanly for yourself. There are nuances here, who crossed what? Rotten. The mass, by the way, also began to oxidize. So we protect everything completely. We wrap it in a rag, in rag tape. Here too, it is unclear what the spin is. It's kind of green. But he seems to be holding up well. I don't want to honestly uproot the original VAG pins, because it's a pain. It's a pain. It's also green here, but it's definitely a plus for sure. Therefore, now we will fill it with lube. First, we'll wrap it all up with a liquid key. Then we'll go through the lube again. Well, we need to solve something with this angle. He looks as bad as possible. Although I think there is less dirt falling from it. But right here, the hole is so clear. And of course it all flies. And by the way, it's not that here. But no, that's it. It's okay, the hole is found. In short, it all flies into the wing, it all rots. And nothing will work, even if it's a worker, if you leave it all like that. So we have packaging technology, and reinforced scotching technology. In general, everything is solved. Oh, I got some shit in my eye. In general, everything is solved, but the sun is setting, it does not please me. Therefore, at the pace of a waltz, we work with the wiring, then we throw everything with the wing and leave. The plan is, adventures for 15 minutes, as usual. Do we? We do. So here's what. I did everything humanly, everything for myself. Although I did it for myself. I put everything in rag tape, in general everything. I connected everything. Here the masses were cleaned up, at the same time filled in with copper grease. There will be no extra. Everything is almost ready to connect. Except for this one. The hose. And I can't do it, because I have a vacuum thrown off the hood there. In short, we check what we have. Let's watch. My fingers are frozen, of course. So, the back one is turned on. Light. Light. The light is on. Baldes. There are no problems with this. Okay. Let's say we're closing all the doors now. And we try to open with a key. Well, I'm not sure about that at all. I don't think the block works. Stop. Wow. That's it. All the doors are open. All the doors are open. It's fucking easy. All doors are closed. It's a little tight, of course it goes. Holy shit. Well, friends, this is a victory. It's not for nothing that I've been poking around there for so long. It's buzzing. Do you hear? Maybe you need to drive the vacuum system. The door closed. I pressed the pipka, it doesn't buzz. A tape recorder. I didn't understand. Now we'll put on a vacuum system. Maybe he needs a vacuum, so it won't drain the entire battery. But this is a victory. We're somewhere close. But, by the way, a block closure is possible. Tin. I'm cold, of course, but I need to finish the last one. We need to throw it on. Really, the battery will land me now. What you need to throw on. Put this tube in place, which is what we're going to do right now. It doesn't really affect anything anyway, so... Fuck, I planted this thing. Okay, sha. There is a problem. This fitting stupidly broke off. Go to the store to buy super glue, put it on super glue, or... I do not know, it will definitely not sit on the sealant. It's sad. It's sad. Now we will think about what to do. But most likely the superglue option is more realistic than anything else. A dog. In short, I took superglue, we're going to seal it up now. If it doesn't work out, I will be engaged in collective farming. And this tube is original. It costs 11 mowers. That's what I broke, of course. Well, while we are waiting for it to be sealed, we need to figure out where to hang the block, so that it hangs with this part down. That is, with wires down, so that nothing drips on it. And packaging, of course. There's a package lying around somewhere. Let's wrap it in a bag. In his native original already falling apart. I don't know what it is. Seals, let there be a second one over there. We'll wrap it all up with clamps. Damn, I really think I have one yoke left, and it's very sad. Wherever he is, he's here somewhere. So, you need to hang it so that the wires look down, probably here somewhere. And he never touched the floor again. The floor, to put it mildly, is very bad. It has rotted. It has rotted specifically. Who says to save the body? No, guys, there's nothing to save here. Yes, what? Unexpectedly. There's nothing left to save. In short, we are waiting until it is sealed. This thing needs time. This thing needs time to freeze, and a lot, because the temperature is very low to fall asleep. We leave everything as it is. We'll throw it all in. We will return to this issue tomorrow. Overnight, but nothing will happen for sure. Here. It's a shame, of course, but one of the mowers does not want to spend such a pipe at all. With disassembly. Such. Well, okay, there are options to drill, and specifically plant the so-called fitting there. So far so. In general, we are going to go home. That's it. And here I am again. I realized that I would not go far with a broken fitting or not closed. Because the vacuum system, after all. As a result, with the help of a knife, I made a slightly larger hole, and with the help of pliers, wherever they were, I drove the fitting back. I don't know what kind of air current he will have or vacuum, as anyone. But it's better than nothing. Now filled with super glue. Probably a shitty solution. It will need to be filled with sealant. I'll put the tube on and go. Everything will be okay 100%. The so-called bush. And in general, it will only remain tomorrow to hang the whole thing over the wing, because I do not know where the copper wire has gone. And today it is already doing this. Because we have a night. So we wait until it dries up. We'll pour it again. We're waiting for it to dry out when. We put on the phone and go. This is how the thing works, and the pump pumps, so to speak, in the block for a short time. But all the same, I'll throw off the terminal just in case of fire when I arrive. And then clean up all this mess, put everything as it is. The bag, by the way, has integrated the packaging so that now there will be a minimum hole, and the paint is also poured on top, for tightness of connection with the body. And that's it. Long-suffering B3, yes. And then we will only have to go to the server. Cruise, and that's it. And that's it. And of course not all of them. There's a million more in there. And that's it. And we put an end to it, because I mean that I won't pick at it anymore if something doesn't fall off. What I wanted, I did. And it will be necessary to rewrite the whole sir here. There's a little bit to rewind. That's all. It is possible to swing the clutch again. The dirt still drove away, because the clutch already feels better. You don't need to do 10,000 jocks, but just a couple. Let's start the clutch. If there's time, we'll go to the pit, check the brakes. Let's check, pump the brakes, and that's it. We're getting ready, we're going home. Endlessly rattling in that door, it will need to be sorted out. Firm the good news. Consumption has returned to normal. Of course, it is now overstated a lot, and the revs are a little overstated. The lamp lit up again. In short, you need to look for contacts. Where the contacts close again, the brakes climb. In short, the consumption has returned to some positive parameters, but at the same time, the oil sensor does not work for us. Somewhere there is still a wire on the mass, and it will be necessary to restore the mass under the hood. More precisely, buy a new mass wire, and forget about it, because it's torn there. All later, all tomorrow, and... But the fact that the expense has returned to the desired value. He had previously shown 35 to 38 liters. But it also ate noticeably, of course. There is no such thing now. But the fact that now the door works well and still closes and opens from the key is a plus. But we need to see how it works with the battery. Does not the battery eat properly? Good news mostly. I don't know what's wrong with the sensor yet. I'm going to get under the hood and take a look. Oh, what a puddle has formed here. What kind of tin? Everything is somehow. Damn, I have to. It is necessary to solve questions today. So, the day after tomorrow has come. And we have such a story. And we have such a story. It's called We're a Little Late. Tradition. We do not change traditions, of course. What do we have on the liquid? Antifreeze is normal, the brake is normal. There is oil. The fitting did not fall off, it even seemed to be glued. So, here's what we're going to do now. First, you need to start. The thing works. Let's try it. It will leave the infection. Oh, well, apparently this is a normal situation. But due to the fact that I have some kind of crazy drawdown, the situation is not that good. Two hours. Sorter. Everything flew there. The alignment is as follows. We go there, then here, then in the opposite direction. So, we ordered a gasket for an oil heat exchanger, a ring that stands above the oil filter separately. Well, the steering tips are left and right. Now let's go to the server to change all this. Come on. The car, damn, stalled for some reason in the middle of the road. Now everything is fine. I don't know why she's going deaf, but this is most likely the reason for the wiring. After all, there is a minus somewhere on the mass or so, because we do not have an oil sensor. But the expense. Consumption has become normal. This is a plus. We're going to quickly rinse the car on the server. Well, it's not worth washing the car before the swack. Come for a dirty one. Bun, I got to the server. There's a gun, the race is worth it. It grows. Well, and a bunch of different things. Now we will replace the tips and the gasket, because the gasket is starting. I'm walking home, getting high, enjoying the fresh air. Be the third one hung up in the service, one was fixed, the other broke. When it's fixed, I'll tell you everything, of course. I don't even know how to describe this splendor, but I knew what I fit into, but nevertheless, I definitely didn't expect this. The breakdown is kind of spitting, but the details just don't exist for this thing. Tomorrow, the guys will come up with something, but on the whole a productive day. Not for me, of course. I drove all day in the top 5 service on the Xbox, it seems. I don't understand this thing, these consoles of yours. And so yes, they are old cars. We will wait for the call and count the final amount, according to the trade wind, for this repair and in general. That's it. Volkswagen.